Welcome to the Daytona International Speedway and the opening round of practice for the TOECAR Goodies Trash Series. I am here with Mike.
You said Mike in the tone where you were going to say another word. I'm here with Mike.
Let's run it back.
Oh.
Welcome to the opening round of practice for the TOECAR Goodies Trash Series. We're live at Daytona International Speedway. I'm joined by Mike and Tristan in the booth today. Fellas, what are we going to see?
I think it's going to be pretty chaotic. These guys don't know how to drive, but you know what? They made it into the TOECAR League to start with, so they must know how to do something.
Yeah, I have to agree. I legitimately have no idea what's going on, and that's okay. I'm just here to watch, and it's going to be a great time. I think everybody is really excited around the garage area from what I saw, and it's gonna be really cool to see what happens out here, I guess.
Week one, we already got a commentator coming at you from the cuck chair. He's just here to watch. And we are on track. I don't know what to expect from this season. I don't think anybody knows what to expect from this season, quite frankly, because we've never had a TOECAR race. This is our first one, fellas. We've had some of those preliminary tests, and we've seen people both go to space, go to pit road, and somewhere in between. But I feel like we're going to break new ground. I feel like we're going to see racing we've never seen before on this channel. I feel like people are going to see some tracks they might not have seen before. And I feel like no matter what you're watching, whether it be the first video you've ever seen or the 30th or however many, you're going to see something you've never seen on Fox before. As we ride on board with Anthony Von Samsung. You know, the jury's still out, obviously. We have to see who the people take a liking to. But if social media is any indication and our own personal friend group is any indication, this is going to be a very popular driver, fellas.
Yeah, this
what do you
guy's
think?
been everywhere.
Did we pull up his driver, his I don't want to say mugshot, but you know what I'm trying to say.
It'll be on the screen.
Okay, because he's a character, I'll tell you
Oh,
what.
Mateus.
Oh!
What happened?
We're going to have to
Some
go
cars
back and see.
By the way, there are a few cars in here that have not had a chance to wrap their scheme. That should be fixed come next week.
Oh
what
my
happened
goodness.
here? So we have several groups of cars going different speeds down this back straightaway. Mateus is the furthest car in the back here. Actually, no, he's not. Strikes Ferguson is. And he got impatient and just decided to go and just turns the 31 car.
Dingo Dave just got dingo dumped.
Oh, and he got hit by, who was that, Just Luke?
I don't know.
I think it was Just Luke in the 22 that hit him. Yeah, the Little Caesars car.
Oh,
Ooh, and they
Von
got really close to
Samsung.
having more.
Harold Clot just saw... Oh, man.
They got to be real careful. Harold is a very fragile man. That is a 96-year-old. To those who may not have seen the tweet, he is a former lawyer, had his own law firm, has been retired 20 years and took the time off to try to fix up his house. Went from a small single-family home to a mansion, completely off his own hard work. But now, there's nothing left to fix at home, so Harold's out on track. And man, oh man, is he going quick. Look at him catch up to Strikes Ferguson here off turn 2.
He's going to have a lot to fix, especially after his first crash, because this man, people tell him not to race, but he doesn't listen. He just wants to drive.
I would like to clarify that Surgeon General Steve Basil has explicitly told this man not to race. He shouldn't even be on the facility. He's in danger as a fan in the stands. He should be nowhere near this racetrack, but, you know, some people are just meant to do the thing they want to do, and he is trying to race and win TOECAR.
And Steve Basil, he's a pretty tough and rough guy. Like, you can have, your brain can be swelling actively, and he'll be like, get back in the car. So if he's telling Harold to stay out, I don't like that. But Harold, he's a man, he's a grown man, he can do what he wants.
He's like a genuine guy.
Speaking of some of our drivers out here, we got good old Strikes Ferguson leading the high side with Phil Menard behind him. You know, that Phil Menard guy, I don't trust him. Because he looks an awful lot like somebody we've seen before.
Yeah, he also doesn't smile. I don't know why. He never seems happy.
And those glasses, they can't be prescription. That's a man who has 20/20 vision, if I've ever seen one. And quite frankly, I don't know what he's got to hide. You know, this is TOECAR. It's race 1. How many enemies can you have in race 1?
Do you smell like Bud Light? Oh, that's the 97. There's DUI Div.
You know what the cure to a hangover is, fellas? To not stop drinking. And that's a man who knows that very well. He has not stopped drinking since 2007.
Somebody that'd be good at hydrating. I'm right behind him, Chris the Catheter Keen in the 65 car.
Well, that's a little bit built in. Chris, he's had a tough past. He had several surgeries in this past off season, hence the nickname. But he's a fighter, you know. He's got the Gatorade mobile. He's got electrolytes in his soul. He's ready to go.
And rounding off the back of this pack, we have everyone's favorite cop, Joe Swanson, in the 71. Using hand controls as he doesn't have use of his legs.
And you know, that's the sign of a true champion right there. This is somebody that's going to come out every single week and give his absolute best. He's already dealing with hand controls. He's up here competitive in a 3-wide battle right now during practice, which is insane in its own self. And they're about to catch a lap car. That's a fearless man if I've ever seen one. And you know, quite frankly, like, he's been through injuries before. Let's not, you know, walk around the elephant in the room here. So this is somebody that knows what he's getting into, has accepted all of the risks, and man, oh man, we're all pulling for him.
Got Elliott Sadness in the 2-car joining this little pack.
He will not be happy about getting passed by all these people.
Three wide sure. Oh man, someone's in the wall back there.
What is he driving? Is that a Taurus?
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh, we get the PlayStation 5-car up there. Very nice paint scheme. Whoever made Florida's man's livery really outdid themselves, is all I'm gonna say.
And there's our other fan favorite, Scubs.
Exclusive rights, an LLC, if you will, on having one name, at least until we take him to court over it. You know, I think he's going to be another one. I really think Scubs is going to compete for the championship this year. He's got Body Armor funding. The guy that has the sponsorship with Body Armor and Cup, he won the championship last year. There's a lot going for them. They have a lot of upward momentum. Body Armor as a drink, phenomenal.
And last names add a lot of drag, not good.
That's true. Think about all the money they're going to save not having to put the last name banner on this car. Like, if you think about it, it's genius. This is a team that's ready to compete. They're not worried about the superficial stuff.
Oh, Strux looked like he got out of shape there.
He did. Thankfully, that whole pack gave him some space to catch it. These guys do not want to go to a backup car this soon into the opening practice. What happened here, Tristan?
Oh, sorry. I was reading some of the names, trying to read up on some of these drivers. It looks like Gatorade car got into 29 car. He tried to go bowling for soup there, it looked like. And, you know, he managed to save it. That's a good thing. No harm, no foul. I'm sure he's not going to be very happy about that. They might have a conversation about that later on, but, you know. Could have been worse.
Sorry there. Let me tell you, Phil Menard must feel like Superman, by the way, because he is the only person in that entire pack who didn't have to lift to avoid all that. He's still out ahead of those guys.
He's got a strong car built by, what team is he running for?
Looks like Fox Family Motorsports from what I'm reading right here. He's from Wisconsin, too.
Oh,
that's all I got.
Like cheese.
Let me tell you, we got trouble on the backstretch, it looks like. Looks like they might have solved it already, but got to figure out what may have went wrong here. No cautions during the practice to improve driver safety. We don't want to keep people off the track. We want to give them opportunities to practice, and that can't happen if they're in garage stalls, right? Coming down the backstretch here, just looks like Chris Cross goes up the track. Just takes out David Gutterball.
Nowhere for Gutterball to go.
Huh. That's a man who wishes the bumpers were up. That's all I know. It looks like they're going to keep wrecking in turn 3 here, too.
Oh, Mateus again.
Was that Mateus again?
I think it happened a couple times in a row here.
Oh.
So he's already been turned once, and he's clearly trying to head to the pits.
He desperately just wants to find his crew. Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Oh, David Gutterball getting hit again. Man, these guys wouldn't know it's practice. They're out here racing like it's the last lap. We are exactly 3 minutes into our 2024 TOECAR season. They're already tearing stuff up, boys.
Yeah, and Gutterball might have to go to a backup if they can't get that fuel tank repaired. Surely that's going to be leaking now.
So let's address the elephant in the room here as well. David Gutterball, right? Oh, haha, he's a pro bowler. That's it, right? Wrong. This is a man who has loved the game of bowling for so long, his entire skull has become a bowling ball. Not via surgery like Anthony Von Samsung. He just transformed out of pure will. This is a man who absolutely loves knocking over pins, and he's going to knock out some race cars out of the way the exact same way. God forbid you're that 29 car who strikes Ferguson. If you see this 21 in your mirror, you know you're in for a fight.
Got the 67 of Arkansas Jones. Wonder if he can Mickey Mouse his way into another win this season.
Tristan, you're a noted paint scheme enthusiast. What are your thoughts on the 67 car?
It's blue and red. I can't really tell. Are those flames on the side there?
I believe.
Can't tell what's going on there.
Looks pretty warm.
You know what scheme I'm really looking at is this gray Budweiser car here. I'll tell you what. Who is that? Who we got here?
That's making music. He hasn't. The wrap hasn't came in the mail yet, so he's out here with the primer.
Tell.
Oh,
Tell. You know, I'm a sucker for primer.
Mason
though,
Dixon
so
in
I
the
mean,
wall.
Oh, Mason Dixon finds the line in turn 4, and it's up there, right into the end of the safety barrier.
Now,
As you can
right
see,
there at the shutout.
or should I say, the unsafer barrier. Mike, would you like to elaborate on that for us?
we were able to talk to the president of Daytona, and I was able to convince him to take him away from the straightaways. But after Earnhardt, he would not root him from the outside of the turns. But I am going to try to sneak in here after dark and rip them down, because I think it's only a few screws holding each one of them in.
When you think about how much they get hit by race cars going 200 plus, they can't possibly be sturdy anymore. So it makes complete sense to me.
I think a good idea is if we break any of the foam over the next couple weeks, we should just start replacing with concrete blocks. That way, you know, it's a set it and forget it type of situation.
Exactly, they're not going anywhere if it's concrete, right? That's why they built it in the first place.
Phillips Russell passing Pris Call.
First call, noted fan of Rajon Rondo and the Boston Celtics, getting passed on the outside lane by cars on the inside lane. Let me tell you, there are a lot of Earnhardt or Earnhardt adjacent cars in this field. There's 2 right there. We're gonna have a fleet.
Yeah, Teresa's ovaries are quaking right now. She don't know what to do with all this. There's just so much on the table to take to sue for.
Well, it all comes down to politics, like all things in life. And unfortunately for her, Surgeon General Steve Basil went to school with several TOECAR lawyers. And if she put up a fight, she'd have her money essentially going into the garbage, because we would get the patent on every single one of these number fonts, every single one of these schemes. We even have the licensing for the DEI stripes.
You might need to show me that paperwork before I get summoned. Here we have Paul Walker music in the 68 Hot Wheels machine.
That is a fantastic car. A classic we've seen before with a few little additions like the racing stripes down the center. I think it looks absolutely stunning.
Matea's back on track. This is going to be fun.
He's had a very, very interesting go of it so far. And you got to think, this is somebody that's come here all the way from Brazil to race this series. He could have had a long flight. Poor guy had a 25-hour layover in Cleveland on his way here. That's going to give him some challenges on his way into every single TOECAR race this entire season, Tristan.
Now, let me tell you something about Mateus. He is one of the very few drivers that I know from racing experience in the past. And let me tell you, he's stepped it up. He's stepped it up. He can actually drive in a straight line now. He used to not be able to do that. And I'm sure you remember that, Kyle.
You know, life is about how we change and how we adapt to things. And this is a man who's changed. He's leading the high side, as steady a wheel as possible. There are losing spots, but that's not all his fault. Because it's practice, and we're here to find our balance and here to find speed in these things. And man, oh man, is that 18 car, 2 cars ahead of him flying. Top of the charts right now.
What is that? Is that a Toyota? What was that?
That's
These
a Camry.
are several things. That is a Camry.
Several things. All right.
Well, that statement comes from one thing and one thing alone. This fleet of cars you see on this track are exclusively cars we salvaged from Dale Jr.'s race car graveyard. If this smoke is any indication, we just had a couple other cars join them back there at the graveyard. But all of these things are refurbished, formerly damaged race cars. So there's no harm in beating them up. You're going to see these guys lay on one another. You'll see people making contact on a regular basis. And essentially, these cars are half broke anyway, right? So why not just use it all up?
Rustard and
Very nice
ketchup
to deal
leading
to
this
donate.
back. Oh!
Oh my goodness.
They get tangled in round
the
fill. That was a close
Wow.
call.
You got to realize, too, like in the race, they do like to pit, but they're not going to be pitting nearly this much. That's a whole other element they're not prepared for. There are going to be people in the midst of humongous packs of race cars pulling off at a moment's notice. Let's see what happened here.
This looks like
Wow.
he got a little too close to that left rear and just said, "Hey, I'm gonna hit you."
These
And that's
guys.
exactly what he did.
They got to lay off that right side.
Mike,
Left
what
side.
makes it so difficult for these guys to push each other around this track?
Well, for some reason, every one of these cars we had to get out of Junior's graveyard, there was no way to get them out of the ground. They were literally sunken into the mud, so we had to put a tow hitch on the front of every one, and we couldn't get them off. So there's just a tow hitch sticking out of the front of every car. It gets hooked on everything.
On the plus side, though, teammates will be able to help each other get out of the infield grass way sooner. So it's kind of a trade-off. They know what they got into, like I mentioned before, and we play the hand we're dealt. However, that 42 car was not dealt that multicolored number. That is a choice, and I respect it. It looks pretty cool.
Fellas, I hate to say it because we're never not going to see it now, but that 45, his roof number is facing the wrong way.
He just loves the fans that much. The real trick is to have one of those reversible numbers that's just the correct way either way.
Forgive me if I'm wrong. That's clink bottles in the 45. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And that adds up, fellas, because that's a man that's never seen a sober's day work. Like, he's been pre-gaming since 2001. He's down on the bottom here. He's making it happen. That's a man who's determined, you know? You know how hard it is to be perpetually drunk? He wakes up routinely at 4 a.m. just to have a shot every day. He sets an alarm. That's a dedicated man.
You know what his favorite dessert is?
What's up?
Benadryl.
I've heard it's a very, very popular dessert of choice amongst this field. Very similar to how a lot of drivers have decided to start picking up Zins. This field has decided to gravitate a little bit more towards things like Benadryl, Percocet. There's other things in the garage area, let's say, but
other things we can't say on air.
Focused.
Yeah.
Speaking of illegal substances, Chris Cross related to Pablo Escobar, actually.
2 generations away by marriage and biology. Don't worry about that.
Oh man, they're getting
trouble
swirly back there.
Oh my goodness.
Something's going on back there.
Macon
Looked like the primer car.
I mean, he doesn't have to repaint it. It's not his problem.
That's true.
Whole field of 80 cars. I apologize. We all apologize, really, if we misnamed people at first. You got to realize we've met all 81 of these people yesterday. You know, these are not people we've spoken to. We don't know their stories completely. Some of them filled out the brochure. Some of them didn't. Some of them lied. You know, there's a lot of things going on. I still don't trust Phil Menard. Oh, he's in the back of this pack. There's a lot to keep up with.
I shook 80 hands yesterday, and my hand is still slamming. I don't know who did it.
Yeah. Who was it with all those rings? Somebody had like 25 rings on one hand, and it was really, really unfortunate because they went for a fist bump. And that shit hurt. Like, it was not fun at all.
It's like Catholic school when the nuns hit you with the ring.
Oh, awful. Looking at these speeds, times are very, very close. We're expecting a very, very competitive field. Realistically, battling for 39th is going to be about as hard as battling for the lead. Oh my goodness.
Liz, Wyoming.
Oh, man. You know, thankfully they have Geico. You know, it's just built in. So they're good to go. Liz, formerly a lizard, had to become an actual human being in order to actually reach the controls in these cars. But they put it all together. And you know what? You know, they might be going to a backup car, but I still wouldn't count them out.
Whoa, what?
Oh. Phillips Russell gets into Mason Dixon, and they saved it. Let's go back and see what happened to old Liz.
Coming out of the try over here. Looks like Liz just gets hooked all the way down to the inside. Liz is picking up speed, though. You got to lift in this situation.
Oh, hard in the save for Barry. That's a backup for sure.
That's not what you want this early into the season, and then just haphazardly backing up in front of several packs of cars. You got to talk about risk management. You got to talk about decision making, and we're not seeing a good example here. This is not the type of thing you want to be doing if you want to protect your race car and protect yourself, quite frankly. Back up to some more of the lead pack here. Got the 17 merging in. This group of 4 or 5 has been out here start to finish, basically.
Got Adam Recklin in the 11 machine out of a suburb of New York. That team coming together down to Daytona.
Let me be the first to tell you, as a native New Yorker, I'm very interested in where this suburb is, because I've not seen a suburb in New York my whole time. Like, this is Narnia. This is a place that does not exist. But, you know, maybe that kind of magic is what it takes for this 11 car to actually make it to the front of the field. Maybe not. Got several Nintendo cars on the car, as well as the GameCube logo. It is 2000 after all. At least this car is from 2000. And this track is from whenever the Budweiser Party Porch existed.
Got Rusty Dipstick in the Krispy Kreme car.
Rusty Dipstick.
A big run off of turn 4.
We've seen with these cars, they get runs very, very easily. We've seen people dive out of line a lot. And this is just in practice. Imagine when we have 41 of these things all in a pack. 78 car looking to the inside.
I will say, come race time, I'm very excited to see what happens because this has already been a pretty eventful practice session, and it just goes to show that we said it earlier, we don't know what to expect. So I mean, if this is any indicator of what we can expect in the main race there, anything literally could happen here.
Got Big Luke Lifts on the top there. He's a 7 foot tall, 350 pounds from Alabama. That's a big boy.
I feel like he will also be a humongous, pun intended, absolutely, fan favorite. You just know what car is his. You know, you'll never miss it. It's like when this game was in the Xfinity Series. It's impossible to miss. It's big. It's written in big letters. Oh, no.
Oh!
Look out. Look out. That's not good.
That's going to hurt.
Oh, look out. There goes the fuel tank of mustard and ketchup. That could have been worse.
And everybody else miss him. I hear more people on the way.
They're revving.
Remember, there's no cautions in practice, so these guys are going to be flying in here. Here comes this huge pack. Oh, gosh, be careful.
Oof. Oh, they're scraping. Oh, look out. There they go again.
There it is.
Gutterball's going to get another one.
Man.
Just Luke.
These guys wrecked each other last time, didn't they? Do we have a rivalry forming before our eyes?
We might have to add that 22 to the list with the 29.
Oh, he's blocking. He's blocking.
I think he's just pissed off.
He figured it out. He's good.
He's having a little bit of a come apart.
Let's not forget, David Gutterball came into this series with an enemy already, and he's already earning a second one. That can't be good, guys. Tristan, you're somebody who's had a lot of enemies in your racing career. How have you handled it?
Hey!
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You handle it by taking care of your own business, you know? If you gotta wreck someone, you gotta wreck somebody. Just make sure the league or the officials don't catch it, and then when it's all said and done, just say it was an accident.
Well, that is our policy here at TOECAR. NASCAR famously had the boys have at it. We just have boys have it. They've had enough with each other. They've absolutely had it up to here. David Gutterball's already trying to kill people. We are not even at race 1. This is preseason thunder. People are taking each other out on purpose. People are pushing each other into bad situations to see if they'll mess up. These guys are all testing each other, you know? In any other racing series in the world, it's a group of people that have already been racing for a while, plus a few rookies. Essentially, all of these guys are all rookies all at the same time because this is a brand new series. So everybody's trying to figure out what each person's breaking point is. They'll see if they can push each other around. They got to figure out how people
we got
draft.
big trouble. Oh, they saved it
saved
again. Elliott Sadness.
Oh, there's something to smile about. He got turned hard. Should have been a Danica Patrick wreck into the inside wall, but he was able to gather it all up before anything bad happened.
Let's see if Gutterball can start 2 more rivalries here. We got Deddy McBetty in the 23 and Walter Kohler in the, Gustafer Bell in the 09.
Gustafer Bell.
I spoke to Deddy McBetty in the pit road before the race. He was telling me money line on this week, Harold Klott. Harold Klott is the Vegas favorite.
There's Harold.
There he is.
There he is.
Where is he on the speed charts?
Harold, he's up top. Oh no, he's not. He's one below this. Sorry. Maybe more? One more? There we go. 28th.
That's not bad for a man of his age.
It wouldn't be as bad if he was only a little more than 4 thousandths of a second faster than a guy who's actively drunk. But, you know, like you said, he's 96 years old. You know, you slow down a little bit at that age, both mentally and, you know, racing-wise. So it makes some sense.
Now, if he makes it to next year, DUI Div's going to lose his number.
That is true. So part of his TOECAR contract, Harold Klott's car number will always correspond with his current age, which is why he's in the 96 car as we speak. Should he continue to keep racing next year and so on, eventually he might be our only triple-digit number. Who knows?
There's Walter Kohler.
Walter Kohler. You know, I feel like everyone, absolutely everyone, has had a teacher who's looked exactly like Walter Kohler. That's a man who's written on a report card. That's a man who has, you know, checked somebody's syllabus and helped them find a classroom. And that 18 still stout up top. 9 car not in the top 20. You hate to see it. But then again, I haven't seen him in a pack, so maybe he's just been out there practicing qualifying this whole time.
Yeah, once he gets in behind Harold here, I think he's going to get a good run, because right now he's sitting 37th in the standings.
I will say, though, that is a draft lap, so maybe he just hasn't had a good opportunity. This will be the real test here. Does this car have any speed at all, or is he going to have a rough week to start? Let the record state, by the way, they can change cars between now and the actual season opener. If they junk one, or if they just don't like this one very much, they can bring a different car. So they might have a car that has more speed. Maybe it has less speed if they make a bad adjustment. We'll have to see how it all plays out. But there are no inspections, there are no limitations. You can do absolutely whatever you want between this week and next. So I'm sure some teams are going to take some of the data they've gathered today. I think that's why you see so many of these cars in a pack rather than just practicing by themselves. They want to learn. They want to see what they can do. They want to see what their cars can do. Tristan, how hard is it to get a car that drives well at Daytona and get up in the front without sacrificing too much speed and drag?
Not that hard. They just need to grow up a little bit.
There you go. And that is from our in-race reporter. Sorry, no, insider, Tristan Hagenstein. We'll get it right one of these times.
That's okay. Take your time.
Look at Harold. Harold's taking command of this pack right now.
Yeah, you got a decent little pack formed up here for the last 5 minutes of practice. Man, they are...
Oh, someone's on the wall there. Was that Harold?
I think it was Harold and the 9 car. I think they both got a little too high.
These guys, they just get really excited off these corners.
Strike's
part of the fun.
Big checkup. I think they got nervous with strikes down there because, like I said earlier, they don't know who's who. They don't know if somebody's going to be able to hold a car if it wobbles a little down there. They don't know if somebody's brand new to this kind of thing. Take a guy like Anthony Von Samsung. This guy was in the tech industry not even 2 months ago. Now he's driving a race car here in TOECAR.
I will say though, I think Anthony Von Samsung, that's his name. I think as he's coming down to pit road here, I think he's going to be one of the fan favorites in this series. That's for sure. I think he's got a very likable personality from what I can tell. He's German, so I mean,
he is German.
How can you not like the Germans?
No, it's worth noting. Tristan is also of German descent.
Well, no.
Are you not
But-
at all?
No, it's Dutch, which
How
is
did you have
ironic.
such a German last name and not have any German in you?
It's ironic. I get it.
All right, that's fair. Anyways, moving on. Wow, 3 wide. They really aren't messing around. We have an Asiago brother in the middle. Who's that, Limburger?
That's Asiago.
Asiago? Oh, yeah, Limburger's in the other series. I think one of them is also driving the 57 in that. Am I wrong?
That's Jake Joe. He has his brother, Ginger Joe.
Ah, you see the mistake I'm making here. Wow, they're getting real close to turning each other on that bottom lane. These guys are really, really trying to see how far that tow hitch reaches out because you're going to need to push if you want to win this race. And you have to learn how to do it well. It's worth noting we have a lot of manufacturers in this series. There's obviously your big 4, which at the time included Pontiac. You have some Toyotas out there. There's some other ones. I think, was this the one with the Subaru? Or was that in Point Cup? There's a Subaru in here somewhere that made its way in.
It's Deddy McBetty.
Deddy McBetty, there you go. So there's a lot of different car shapes in this field. You know, some people have different front bumpers, some people have different rears. It's going to be hard to, figure out who your car is going to be able to push, who's going to be able to push you. And that's even besides all the experience factor that's going to play into all this.
Now, I heard some rumblings in the garage area. They're doing some things with these tow hitches. Some people are putting them in the front and the back to be able to tandem with their teammates.
That's a risk, though, because while it might be great when you're pushing in a straight line, pushing through the corners are so much more difficult if you add the second tow hitch. Not to mention, that's an additional cost and an additional thing you'll actually have to put onto the car at the garage. So some of these guys just might not do it well, quite frankly. And if those aren't lined up, you can't push at all. You will turn everybody every single time, whether it be the straightaway or the corner. So they've really got their work cut out for them if they so choose. Let's take a look at this 18 car. The 18 has been on top of the charts almost this entire practice session. Look for him to be a very, very strong contender. Oh, he's 4th now.
Asiago to the top of the charts.
Wow. Wasn't Asiago the 57? 54 was someone else. Was it?
54.
Probably.
I got the sheet up. Don't worry, I
Look
got
at my
you.
notes again. Understood. 2-minute warning. Here we go off turn 4. I'm beginning to think this car also doesn't have a roof number, by the way. I'm not sure if we have someone out there who can get us a look, but
It's an outline. It's there.
it does. Oh my gosh. Wow, they're really making it hard for their spotter. That's going to impact them trying to miss wrecks because they're going to have to work harder to find their car. Rewind again. As they approach a lapped car.
Oh,
wow.
this will be fun trying to get around the 45 of Clink bottles.
Ooh. And
He's
he
making
will
that
not be
car 8
holding
lanes
them all.
wide by himself. Everybody loves to hit the grass off of turn 2 down there. I guess it tickles.
Well, I heard a couple people whispering. I don't know if they're lying to me or if they're telling me the truth. But I heard that if you do that, it cools off the left side tires and gives you much, much better tire wear in the long run. And as long as you're not passing anybody, it's not illegal. In fact, it's not illegal no matter what you do down there. So you can pass as much as your heart desires down below. Oh, no.
Oh, crisscross with engine trouble, it seems.
Oh. We're going to get our pit reporter down there to get us some insider info. And this is what the audio we were able to get from the in-car.
I am disabled.
I meaning the engine.
Oh,
no, Mateus!
Mateus hard on the wall.
Oh!
I don't like that, guys. I don't like the looks of that at all.
That was a hard lick for these guys, man.
Oh, they're driving away. Thank goodness.
Well,
no, they're not.
Well,
I think.
Trying to get
Oh,
refired, I think. Oh! Now they're going. Well,
that's what killed
I
Chris
can't
Cross.
tell.
That was what killed Chris Cross. I'm thankful everybody else seems to have made it past. Can we get a replay of that initial impact? Making Music took a horrific incident or impact into the wall. Got the tow hitch hooked.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Making music just all over Mateus's tow hitch. Nowhere for Gutterball to go again. Man.
That 21 is cursed. So is the 32. These guys
I
just
don't
can't
think
miss one.
32's as cursed. I just think he's still. Well, that's a different conversation for a different day, I guess.
And then these guys, wow.
Oh man.
Oh,
Somebody
that,
else
so
is
that's-
blown up.
that
That's what
destroyed
happened up
Chris
there.
Catheter, Keen.
Oh. Well, he has season passes to the hospital. So it's going to help out. He's going to have to pay less money in health insurance. It's all good.
It's right on board with the 8 car.
Oh, and you see it there. He tried to follow him up the hill. And you just can't do that with these tow hitches. You have to make one choice, either to follow or to go around them. And once you've decided, there's no changing. Asiago on top of the board with Anthony Von Samsung in second, Philip Bindit Russell in third, and Mason Dixon in fourth with Clink Bottles rounding out our top 5. I cannot believe Clink is up there, all things considered. But what a good job.
Yeah, sometimes a high BAC, it's just good. It's good for driving. It gets you thinking, gets you wondering, how can I be faster? You don't think about those kind of things when you're sober.
You really don't. And look at our boy Harold Claw up to P12. Can you believe it?
That's impressive. That's probably what his blood sugar is after that run, but, he's going to come down for a Cliff Bar.
Well, that about wraps things up from Daytona.
Also getting word from Surgeon General Steve Basil, all drivers have been released from the care center from that impact.
Oh, absolutely amazing news before we go off the air tonight. But for Mike, for Tristan, and for every other TOECAR enjoyer, thank you, and good night.